of this whole thing here. Excuse me. So we just got to finish up by adding and combining like terms. So 2x and 4x gives me 6x, 9 and negative 15 give me a negative 6, and we equal it to 90 degrees. Add 6 to both sides. These cancel out, give me 6x equals 96. I get my calculator out because I'm going to divide both sides by 6 here. So 96 divided by 6 gives me x equals 16. Now you notice that none of these answers up here have a 16 in them, because guess what we need to do? We need to find the measurement of both of these angles. So what we could do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to plug it into this here. Okay, so we'll do it over here. We'll go to place this x with a 16, sorry, and then we add 9 to it, and that'll give us our answer. So 2 times 16, so I'm going to take times 2, gives me 32 plus 9, and that's going to give me an answer of 41 degrees. So we look through all these things when we're looking for specifically FGI here, and here's FGI, 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 and here's a 41. So chances are, is there any other 41s? Nope. So our answer is going to be D. And how do we double check that? All we have to do is just take 41 away from 90, and I did on my calculator, and it gives me an answer of 49 degrees. Okay? All right. Going down to question number 6 here. So it's based on the diagram, which statement must be true? So what I would do, I'd recommend going through each one of these to see if they're true or not. Based on what we've known, okay, it says PS is perpendicular. Remember, that's the perpendicular of UR. So here's PS, and here is UR. Now, based on what we've seen, and looks like it could be perpendicular, because we know perpendicular means that these angles in here are all going to be 90 degrees. But I'm going to come back to this one because I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the answer. The reason why is that it needs to have a symbol somewhere in one of these 4 corners. If there's no symbol, we cannot assume that these statements are true. So let's go on to the next one. So let's go QVR. So QVR, where's Q and there's V, so QVR is this thing right here. So I'm highlighting this, I'm going to put a mark in there like that. And it says that it's congruent to or equal to UVT. UVT, which is right here. I'm going to put a mark in that one. Can we say that one's true or not? I would say it's a possibility, because look at this. These are opposite of each other, so I would call this vertical angles. So let's write that in here. Vert angles. But let's double check to make sure on the other one. So let's go with here. Let's go PVQ. PVQ, which is this one right here. And it says it's equal to it, which is QVR, which is right here. Okay. So I know that one's definitely not it as well. So far B is looking like our answer. We've got to double check D, is because it doesn't have any markings that tell us that these things are true or not, or anything else that's given. So let's go to the last one. It says that these 2 angles added up together equal 90 degrees. Again, we can go back up here because none of these, there's no symbols of the 90-degree angle anywhere in here. So we can sit there and say that that's not the answer, that's not the answer, and that's not the answer. So our answer is going to be B. Okay, remember the key thing is knowing that you can't, just because it looks like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. You got to have these things to prove it, to say it's good. All right, let's go on to question number 7. All right, same concept here again. It says which of the followings are true, and it says select all that apply. There's a possibility that some of these, more than one of these, could be true. Okay, so let's check it out. So 3, and the key word here, non-collinear points determine a plane. So if we were to draw 3 points, and we would draw like our plane here, almost look like a smiley face, does that consider a plane? The answer is yes. Okay, let's look at the next one. A line contains at least 2 points. So if we were to draw a line, and how many points in the definition that we learned earlier in the school year, we need to have how many? At least 2. Okay, 2 points. So this one also is a yes. So far, those are our answers that we're going to mark. Okay, through any two distinct points, there's exactly one line. So again, we just draw 2 points. And how many lines can I draw through both of those points? Can I draw more than one, or it can only be one? Only one. So the answer on this one also is a yes. Okay. Now, any 3 points lie on a distinct line. So let's draw a line, and we can do this. Okay. It doesn't say whether they're collinear or non-collinear, so we at least have 2. But I can randomly put one way over here, or I could put one on here. It all depends. But if I have 3 of them, and they're not all on the same line, then this one is going to be a no. Okay. Let's look at the next one. If 2 lines intersect, it is only at 1 point. So if I do 2 lines, I intersect them. Okay, lines are straight, they're not curved. Okay, how many points does it intersect at? The answer is yes. Okay, now if I were to take 2 planes, which we have up here, and if I were to draw this and I were to sit there and maybe put maybe a box in here, that's how I like to do this. And you can do more than one plane here. So here we can do this plane, and we can do the bottom one down here. Does it create only 1 point? And we're talking about this thing, they intersect together right here. It doesn't make 1 point, it makes a line. So the answer on this one is no. So we have J, H, G, and F as our answers for this one. Okay. All right. Looks like my shade's coming through on my from my window here in my bedroom. Let's see if we move it over a little bit. Well, we can still see it there pretty good. Okay, given the diagram below, which of the following must be true? So we're looking at this thing here. We're going through each scenario again. That's what we have to do. We're going to go MN, which is right here, and we add it to NO, which is right here, and this equals MO. Yes, this is our answer, because, well, let's just double check to make sure on the other ones. So if we take LM, which is right here, and MN, which is right here, and we add those up, is it going to give me the answer? I would have to draw a line from here to here if I were to add them up, and that ends a no. Okay, double checking this one here. Let's go NO, which is up here, and ML is down here. Could be a possibility because we look at them, it doesn't look like it could be. We said we can't do that, but if we knew that this was equal to itself and we added them to each other, then it said that, we had a proof, so this one's going to be a no. And then the last one, ML, which is right here, and the MN, we look at them and we know they're not going to be equal to each other, especially if I were to fold it in this one and match it and lie it on top of this one, the answer on this one. So our answer for number 8 is A. All right, looking at our proof here, we have a nice little proof that we're going to be working on, and there's a key word in here, and I'm going to give you a subtle hint here. Anytime that we have a proof, sometimes in our givens, or most times in our givens, the answer or part of our answers is in there. So I'm going to circle this word here. So this is a key word right here, bisects. Okay, so I'm going to circle that one. So we look at our picture over here, and I'm going to draw it in there. It says KM, which is right here. KM is a bisector of this whole angle right here. So what does bisect mean again? Cuts it in half. Cuts in half. Okay. So that being cut in half, that means that angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be equal to each other. Okay, so let's go down here, and that's the information that we have so far. And it mentions that we want to prove that angle 2 and angle 3 are congruent to each or equal to each other. So here we go. So we have angle 1 and angle 2, and we already talked about this because the key word in here is bisect. And we look down here and it says, okay, question number 9 states, okay, which of the following completes the proof for question number 9? The key word here is a bisect. Now here's the thing, bisector is in here twice. Okay, in question A or answer A and D, but there's a key word in here that's different in each one of them. One of them says an angle bisector, and one says a segment bisector. What are we cutting in half? Are we cutting angles in half, or are we cutting segments or lines in half? The answer is angles. So guess what? Question number 9, the answer is going to be A. Okay. Now, going back up to our proof again, it says that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent to each other. So it says that angle 1 and angle 3 are congruent to each other. And as we look at this and we go back from a previous question that we just talked about, here is that, what do you notice about those? They're opposite of each other. What's that word that we use a lot that has to do with anything? Starts with a V. Okay. Yes, the answer is vertical. So if we go down here to question number 10 and find anything that talks about the vertical angle theorem, there. So the first one is complementary, which means 90 degrees. Supplementary means 180 degrees. Supplementary again is 180 degrees. Oh, here we go. Vertical angles. So our answer for question number 10 is D. Keyword, vertical angles. Okay. All right. That's it for the first 10 questions. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always meet up with me and we can go over those things. All right. We'll see you in part 2.